Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. I'm Tanushree, and today in our series NABARD Grade A to Z series, we are going to have the next video that is on the topic the books of NABARD Grade A. So students, before this particular video, we have three other videos about the NABARD Grade A wherein we have provided you the complete information on eligibility, pattern and vacancies. And in our today's video, we are going to discuss about the books in the detailed manner. Here all the questions regarding which books to read, which chapters to read, everything is going to be answered in this particular video. Now you must be thinking that ma'am, already in this on this particular topic a lot of videos are already there, then why to go for this particular video? So students, here are few reasons. First of all, here I am going to tell you not only about the books, but we are also going to map the entire syllabus chapter wise, for which topic of syllabus you have to refer to which chapter. We are going to see that as well. Along with the books, we are also going to see the websites, the YouTube channels, the newspapers which you can refer to complete your syllabus in the holistic manner. Then we are also going to discuss about the correct edition of the books that you have to refer. After that, we are also going to see the pros and cons of reading these books. And then at last, we are also going to see that is there any need to study anything outside of these books, and if yes, then what are those sources, right? So on that note, let us start our today's video. But students, apart from the books, there is a lot more other information which you should have regarding the NABARD Grade A, and it is about the pattern, everything. So although in this A to Z series we are going to address all these concerns, but still many of you prefer to read this entire information in a written format. And even after watching these videos, after some time you might feel like going through the same information again. So for all these reasons, we have curated this NABARD Grade A guidebook. The link to download this guidebook, it is provided in the description box below, and you can download it from there, right? So now, as an aspiring NABARD Grade A officer, I understand there are a lot of questions in your mind regarding the books that you should refer as far as your exam is concerned. So now let us discuss all these questions one by one in this video. So as far as students our syllabus is concerned, so here is the phase 1, and in today's video we are going to discuss about both the phase 1 and phase 2 books. So students, if you see here, we have to cover reasoning, English, computer knowledge, quantitative aptitude, decision making, general awareness, ESI and ARD, and we are going to see the complete book list for all these components. But can books be the only source? So students, the times we are living in, the word books is a misnomer here. The word books does not just mean a textbook that you can refer to, but it also means the websites, the newspapers, the YouTube channel, the Google and the AI that you can use to complete your preparation in the holistic manner. All right. So on that note, let us start our today's discussion. So right now, the first question that you must be having in your mind is that how do I know which books are relevant for NABARD Grade A? Because in the market, there are no books which are made only for the NABARD Grade exam. So students, this is absolutely true. In the market, we don't have any book which is written specifically for the NABARD Grade A exam only, and there are so many books. So how can you know which books are relevant? So the answer is that no book is 100% relevant, right? We are going to refer to a lot of sources here, no one source or no particular book. It is 100% relevant. So to see how relevant it is and how much of that particular source you should refer to, you have to take the help of the syllabus and the previous year questions. First of all, you have to see whether that particular syllabus topic is mentioned in that book or not. Is that book covering that particular topic or not? And then you have to see the previous year questions to see whether the required amount of depth is covered or not. So because if you are preparing for any particular competitive exams, you have to prepare as per the required depth. If you go in reading a lot in depth, then that too will be a futile exercise that will not be utilized in the exam. Similarly, if you read only on the surface level, then again you will not be able to answer the application based or the in-depth type of questions which are being asked in the exam. So for you to be 100% confident and to give your 100% in this preparation, you should know what depth you have to prepare. So to choose the relevant study material, there are two things which you should always keep with yourself, and they are the syllabus and the previous year questions, right? Then on that note, let us one by one cater to the books which are required to be covered for each and every component of our NABARD grade exam. So starting with the quant, as far as the quant is concerned, the first question which comes to anybody's mind is, are any books mentioned in the notification? So no students, in the notification, no book, and not just the books, not even the syllabus of the quant is mentioned in the notification. Nothing about the syllabus or the books as far as the quant is concerned is given in the syllabus. Then the question arises, how we are going to decode the syllabus first of all. So here we have taken the help of the previous year questions to see what is the syllabus and what are the topics that you have to prepare. Now students, before I show you the books and the chapters from which you can cover the topics which become a part of our quantitative aptitude syllabus, it is very important for you to know that quant, it is a part of our non-merit section, and for quant, reasoning, English, computer knowledge and decision making, you only have to clear the sectional cutoff. So although I am going to map the entire syllabus for you, you have to be very, very selective to make sure that you don't end up wasting a lot of time and you are utilizing your time in the best possible manner, right? So be very selective in which chapters to refer to and prepare as per your target scores. Again, the idea of the target score is something you will get through the cutoff, through the previous year questions. So that is something you have to be very selective about. But for the time being, let us see what are the topics and from where you can cover them. So students, the best book to cover the quantitative quant for our NABARD grade exam, it is the Quantitative Aptitude for Competitive Examinations by Dr. R.S. Agarwal. It is a very good book as far as the NABARD grade exam is concerned, or any other competitive exam is concerned, right? And the edition of the book that you have to refer to, it is the 2024-2025 edition. Now let us see what are the topics and which chapters you have to refer to for those particular topics. See students, for HCF and LCM, you have to refer to chapter number 2. For number system, you have to refer to the chapter number 1 of this book. For percentages, you have to refer to chapter number 11. For ratio and proportion, you have to refer to chapter number 13. For profit and loss, you have to refer to chapter number 12. For simple interest and compound interest, you have to refer to chapter number 22 and 23. For partnerships, you have to refer to chapter number 14. For ages and averages, you have to refer to chapter number 8. Apart from that, for time and work, you have to refer to chapter number 17. For pipes and cisterns, you have to refer to chapter number 16. For time and distance, boats and streams, you have to refer to chapter number 18. For mixtures and allegations, chapter number 21. Then there is quadratic equation. Students, quadratic equation is a very important topic, but this topic is not covered in this particular book. So for this book, you can refer to the Arun Kumar's CAT book. So for the CAT examination, Arun Kumar is an author who publishes very good books, so you can refer to his books, and in his book you have to refer to chapter number 16. Then for the number series, you have to refer to chapter number 35. For mixed data interpretation, you have to refer to the section 2 in this book. In section 2, the data interpretation is covered here, so you have to refer to that particular section. For permutations, chapter number 30 has to be covered. For probability, chapter number 31 has to be covered. For mensuration, chapter number 24 and chapter number 25 of this particular book needs to be covered. So this is the mapping of syllabus as far as quant is concerned. Now, there are two pros of using this book. First is that there are huge variety of questions. This book, it is quite a thick book, and there are huge variety of questions, not just for the NABARD grade exam, but from the other exams also. The questions have been included here, and the questions of different levels are also here. From level 1 to level 3, we have all different kinds of questions on the basis of levels. But there are certain drawbacks of this book as well. So the first drawback is that new exam type questions are not covered here. Every year in NABARD, we see few new type of questions, certain questions which have a level higher than the previous years. So these kind of questions are not covered. Secondly, there are no sectional test as per the NABARD grade A pattern. Specific to the NABARD grade A pattern, no sectional tests are given here. And there are lot of topics which needs to be filtered as per the exam need, because as I have told you again that this this particular book, it is not made for the NABARD grade exam. It is there for all the competitive examinations. So there are all the topics, but you have to be very selective and you have to filter out the topic so that you don't end up wasting your time, right? So these are certain cons of these books. Now, how to overcome these drawbacks and what else needs to be done apart from apart from this particular book? So student, apart from this particular book, once you have understood what you have to read and once you have understood what are the basics of those particular topics, what are the concepts behind all those topics, afterwards you have to give the sectional test and you have to practice a lot of new exam type questions so that and like after learning the skill, you also become the master through practicing, right? So these are two things which you have to do, and both of these things can be done from some quality test series. You can take the test series of any coaching institute, and from there you can practice the sectional tests, and you can also practice the new exam type questions, right? And students, apart from that, on the YouTube also, a lot of YouTube channels and lot of coaching institute, they have their channels where they run such free institutes. So right now we are also running a QRE 360 degree. So herein we are going to study about the concepts of quant, reasoning and English like in the free mode through YouTube. So you can refer to this playlist as well to understand and to learn the concepts of the quant, reasoning and English, right? Now students, once you have completed the quantitative aptitude, now let's talk about the next component, that is the reasoning. Now students, as far as the reasoning is concerned, so again the question arises, are any books mentioned in the notification? So no students, no books have been mentioned in the notification as far as the reasoning is concerned, and not even the syllabus is mentioned. But the book that you have to refer as far as the reasoning is concerned, it is the Verbal and Non-Verbal Reasoning, again by Dr. R.S. Agarwal. Again, this is a very good book for most of the competitive examination and also for the NABARD examination, right? So the NABARD is also mentioned over here. So this book caters to the NABARD syllabus as well, but since, as I have already told you, that the non-merit section syllabus, it has not been mentioned in our notification. So this syllabus is something that we have decoded from the previous year questions. Now students, moving ahead, let us map the chapters, the topics, and the chapters from which you have to cover these topics. So the first topic is the alphabetical and the alphanumeric series. You can cover this particular topic from chapter 10 and 11, section 1 of this book. Then there is coding and decoding, chapter 4, section 1. Syllogism is something which you have to cover from Arun Kumar CAT books, right? The logical reasoning by Arun Kumar for the CAT exam. Direction sense, chapter 8. Inequality is something which you again have to cover from chapter 15 of the logical reasoning book for CAT by Arun Kumar. Then for ranking and orders, you can refer to chapter 12. For the blood relations, you can refer to chapter 5. For setting arrangement, you can refer to chapter number 6. For puzzles also, you can refer to chapter number 6. Then for input output, you can refer to chapter number 7. Apart from students, there are certain topics like statement assumption, statement course of action, statement cause and effect, statement argument, statement and conclusion. For all these chapters and for all these topics, you can refer to the section 2 of this particular book, and here is the list of the chapters that you have to refer to in order to cover these topics, right? So this is what you have to cover as far as your reasoning is concerned, right? But again, if I talk about the pros and cons of this particular book, they are similar to what we have seen in the quantitative aptitude book also, that the variety of the questions is huge. There are large number of questions that are given in this particular books, and the questions are of different level also. But the problem is that the new exam type questions are not covered here, because every year we see that the puzzle, sitting arrangement, every year we see a higher level in these particular topics, and these are very important topics. But the new type of questions, they are not included in this books. Neither any sectional test as per the NABARD grade A pattern is given, and also there are lot of topics which needs to be filtered out. So again, what is the way out? So way out is again similar, that please practice a lot of the new exam type questions through some quality test series, and also ensure that you do at least 10 to 15 sectional tests, so that you can manage, so that you can know how to manage the time and the anxiety level in this particular section. Because as we all know that in NABARD grade A examination there is no sectional timing, there is a composite timing of 2 hours only. So you have to cover 8 subjects or 8 components in these 2 hours, and therefore in this particular examination time management becomes very very important, right? Now, after reasoning, and one more thing here I want to tell you, that again, to cover the reasoning in the holistic manner, and if you want to cover it without purchasing any book through the websites or through the online sources, then you can refer to the QRE 360-degree series. Herein we are teaching quant, reasoning and English for free on the EduTap's channel, right? Then coming to the next part. So till now we have discussed the quantitative aptitude and the reasoning. Now let us discuss the third component, that is the English. Now students, as far as the English language is concerned, again no book or no syllabus has been mentioned in the notification, but the books that you have to refer are Wren and Martin, the high school English grammar and composition book, and the Arihant Publications Objective General English, which is written by SP Bakshi. So these are the two books that you can refer to cover the English part here. Now as far as the syllabus mapping is concerned, so book 1 here refers to Wren and Martin, and book 2 here refers to Objective General English by SP Bakshi, Arihant Publications. So part of speech is something which you can cover from chapter 4 of book 1, that is Wren and Martin. Structure of speech, chapter 1 and 2, again by Wren and Martin. Subject verb agreement, chapter 17 from Wren and Martin. Nouns, nouns are something which you can cover from chapter 10 of book 2, which is the Objective General English of Arihant Publication. Pronouns from chapter 11 from Arihant Publication books. Verbs and tenses from chapter 1, 7 and 8, again from the Arihant Publications book. Models from chapter 3. Conditional sentences from chapter 4, prepositions and complexes, preposition and complex prepositions from chapter 14, and all these topics have to be covered from this particular book, which is the Objective General English by SP Bakshi. Then conjunctions is something which you have to cover from chapter 40 of book 1, that is Wren and Martin. Articles from chapter 9 of Objective General English. Then adjectives from chapter 12, and all these topics now you have to cover them from the Objective General English, because book 2 has been mentioned here. So adjectives, determiners from chapter 12, adverbs from chapter 13, active passive voice from chapter 2, rearrangement or para jumbles from chapter 1, close test from chapter number 7, reading comprehension from chapter number 2, phrasal verbs from chapter number 15, idioms and phrases from chapter number 16, synonyms and antonyms from chapter number 4, one word substitution from chapter number 2, spotting errors, sentence improvement from chapter number 17, 18 and 19, right? So these all are the topics that you have to cover, but similar to what we have understood in the case of reasoning and quantitative aptitude also, the pros of these books are that you will get a lot of conceptual clarity here, and lot of practice questions are also here. But the drawback of these books resides in three things: that first of all, new exam type questions are not covered, no sectional tests are there, and these books are little bit theoretical. So what is the way out? The way out again is same, that do a lot of sectional test and do attempt a mock test from the quality test series, right? Now as far as the covering the English from the online sources, from the free sources are concerned, then you can refer to the RBI grade AB 2025 QRE 360-degree series, which is being run on the EduTap's regulatory body examination. Now students, you must be thinking that, oh, this is RBI grade A or B. So students, if you are preparing the quant and aptitude from the RBI level, then by default it will be prepared for the NABARD as well, right? So that is what you have to cover as far as your English is concerned. Now, since we have discussed the reasoning English, and quantitative aptitude. Now let's discuss about the computer knowledge. Now students, as far as computer knowledge is concerned, again nothing has been given in the syllabus. So as far as the computer is concerned, you can refer to either of these two books. You can either refer to the computer awareness book by Arihant, or you can refer to the Lucent's computer book, right? So you can refer to any of these two books, and both of these books you have to complete cover to cover. Everything that is given in these books, especially this Arihant book, it is quite a thin book, but you have to cover it in completely, so as to make sure that you are covering all the important chapters as far as the computer awareness is concerned, right? Now after discussing the computer awareness, let us talk about the decision making. Again students, decision making is very much similar to your management. Now for this you can refer to the principles and practices of management by T.N. Chabra, or you can refer to the principles and practices of management by L.M. Prasad. But students, here as a mentor, let me tell you that these books are quite bulky, and in the phase 1 examination we get decision making worth 10 marks only. So it does not makes a lot of sense to refer to these books for just 10 marks. So here in this case I would suggest you that you better go for this particular video which is available on our YouTube channel, that is complete decision making in 5 hours. You please do this, you please cover this particular video, and after that if you face after that if you want to see that how well read you are as far as decision making is concerned, then I would suggest you please do give a mock test or a sectional test. And even if this is not possible, try attempting the previous year questions and see whether or not you are able to clear the sectional cutoff as far as the decision making is concerned, right? So students, with this we have covered the entire non-merit section of our preliminary examination, that is the reasoning, English, computer knowledge, quantitative aptitude, decision making, right? So all these 5 components have been covered. What are the books that we have to refer for them, and what are the online resources that you can refer to cover these topics is something that we have discussed. Now let us see the books and the websites that you have to refer to as far as your merit section is concerned, right? So first of all, let us discuss about the general awareness. So again, is there any book mentioned in the notification? So no students, in the notification no book has been mentioned for the GA. But even if it would have been mentioned, like it was not even possible for the NABARD to mention the GA book, because there is no book for the general awareness in the market. So students, as far as general awareness is concerned, the question arises what all you have to read as far as the GA is concerned. So students, here are the areas, or here are the things that you have to cover as far as your general awareness part is concerned. So the first thing that you have to cover is the schemes. The second thing that you have to cover are the reports. The third thing that you have to cover is the finance current affairs. Now you must be thinking, finance current affairs in the NABARD grade examination? Yes students, earlier even we have never suggested students to go through the finance current affairs, but in the 2024, out of the 20 questions of NABARD, around 7 to 8 questions were there from the finance part itself, and these questions were there from both the finance static part as well as finance current affairs part. So this makes finance a very important component as far as the GA is concerned. The next thing that you have to read is the ESI related current affairs. ESI related current affairs means current affairs which are related to the syllabus of ESI, right? So those current affairs. Apart from that, the normal GA one-liner kind of current affairs is something that you have to refer to, and then there are certain static topics also that you have to refer to for GA, and these static topics you don't have to refer to anything different or anything new. You can simply refer to the ARD or ESI syllabus along with few topics of the finance static. So here you just have to refer to the basics of finance, right? So the certain terms like what is certificate of deposit, what is repo rate. So these few finance related topics are something that you have to cover as far as the static part is concerned, because as I've already told you, out of 20 questions, 7 to 8 questions were there from the finance part, which included both the static finance and the current finance, right? Now let us see what are the sources from which you can cover the GA part. So as far as the sources are concerned, you can refer to the PIB website for the schemes. Very important, very credible and very relevant. For the reports, you can refer to the PIB website. All the government and government body related reports will be released here on PIB website. And apart from that, for the international reports, you can refer to the Hindu newspaper. For finance current affairs, you can refer to the Live Mint newspaper or the Business Standard newspaper. For the ESI current affairs, you can refer to the Hindu newspaper and the PIB website. For the normal current affairs, you can refer to the Hindu newspaper. And for the static part, as I've already told you, you have to refer to your own ARD ESI static syllabus as well as certain basics of the finance static syllabus. Right. So these are the topics that you have to cover as far as your GA is concerned. Now, there are there is like one doubt, like this entire thing, all the sources that we have discussed in the previous slide, they all seem very humongous, very tedious and very overwhelming for the students, because first you have to refer to them, then you have to filter out the most important things, and then you have to make your own notes, and then you have to understand it, you have to revise it. So it includes a lot of time and effort. Apart other than this, there is one very easy solution, and that is the magazines compiled by the various institutes. For example, EduTap also has its various magazines. So as part of our current affairs course, we have Scheme Step magazine, we have Report Step magazine wherein we cover the reports. There is RBI News Tab, there is ARD News Tab, then there is Current Step. Here we cover the GA, the one-liner GA news, we cover finance plus GA, and we cover the ESI kind of GA. So all these topics are covered. Apart from that, agriculture, ARD current affairs and ARD reports are also something that are covered as far as the GA is concerned through the magazines that we bring out, right? Now, as a student, you must be thinking that if I read these compiled magazines, then do I need to read these magazines and websites? Do I need to read these newspapers and the website? See, students, if you are reading the magazines, then ideally speaking, you are not required to read the newspapers, but still you have to read the newspaper. Why? Because of two reasons. One reason is for the editorials, right? Although the magazines, they do cover the newspaper, but to make sure that you are able to write good answers in the descriptive part, it is imperative for you to read the editorials. Apart from the editorials, there is one more reason, that is magazines often come with a time lag, right? So the magazines of the month of May might be coming by the month of June, right? So it comes with a time lag, and it becomes difficult for you to make the connection between any two particular news. So if you are reading the newspapers, it will become easier for you to connect the news, and you will have something to fall back on rather than simply reading the magazines. But here you have to take a note of caution, that instead of reading the newspaper line by line and making notes out of it and spending hours and hours on newspaper, you have to be very selective. Just look at the news which is related to your syllabus topic, quickly glance through it, understand what has happened, take the crux of the that particular news, and just move ahead. No need to make the notes out of it, no need to do a lot of research on it, because on your part that work is being done by the coaching institute, so let them do their work, right? So that is what is my answer as far as this question is concerned, that whether you have to refer to the compiled magazines or not. Now students, you must be having this question in your mind, that ma'am, can you please tell me कि किस तरीके के questions आते हैं and how to refer to these sources. So students, for that I would suggest you that please have a little bit patience. When we will reach the letter N, therein we are going to discuss the entire non-merit section in detail, and therein we are going to see like non-merit section in detail, and then at letter M we are going to discuss the merit section, right? And the G we are going to discuss the GA part. So all these coming alphabets, they will be addressing each of your questions. So please have a little bit patient. All these will be answered as far as your questions are concerned. Then students, as we have seen what are the areas and what are the sources, you must be having this thing in mind, that ma'am, if we look at the sources that we have to cover, the most important source that comes out to be, it is the PIB. Like PIB is that particular source which is one of the most relevant sources, and if we are not referring to any monthly compiled magazines, and if we are referring to the PIB, then how we have to cover the PIB? What should be our way forward to cover the PIB? So students, here the first and foremost thing is that you have to refer to the syllabus, majorly the syllabus of the ESI and ARD. So students, as far as the ESI syllabus is concerned, then from the syllabus you have to map the ministries, because in the PIB you will get the news ministry wise. You have to map the ministries, from which ministries which syllabus point matches which ministry. So there is Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. This is something which is concerned with our social issues, right? So here is social infrastructure, education, health and environment. So it is related to that particular point. Then there is Ministry of Education, Ministry of Social Justice. Social justice as a word is directly mentioned in our syllabus. Then Ministry of Urban Development, Ministry of Child and Women Development, Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, Ministry of Agriculture, the syllabus topic as it is. Ministry of External Affairs is there, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Ministry of Finance, because it is all about the economics here, right? Trends in inflation and all of that. Apart from that, you also have to refer to the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation, Ministry of Food and Public Distribution, Housing and Urban Affairs, Jal Shakti, MSME, PAS, Railways, Road Transport and Highways, Rural Development, very very important, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Tribal Affairs and Niti Aayog. So these are the major ministries and organizations that you have to refer to, or whose news and reports become important when you are referring to the PIB. Right now, students, you must be having this thing in mind that there is a lot which is given on these websites and these newspapers, how we have to read about them and how will we know what is important, what is not important. So students, for that also you have to wait for some time. We are going to cover all these questions and we are going to answer all these questions in the upcoming letters in the upcoming videos of this particular series. Then again, a lot of the students who come to the NABARD grade A preparation from their banking exams or UPSC preparation, they have this thing in their mind that can I read the compiled magazines meant for the banking and the UPSC exam? So students, here the one word answer is not enough. These magazines, they are not going to enough as far as the NABARD grade exam, because if I talk about the banking exam, the questions that are asked in NABARD as compared to the banking exams, they are both wider and deeper in their coverage, right? So that is why the banking compilations that are not enough. And as far as the UPSC magazines are concerned, so here the kind of questions that are being asked in the NABARD grade A exam, they are more factual as compared to the UPSC exam. Right now, students, you might be thinking that can I cover the current affairs from YouTube channel? So students, there are a lot of YouTube channels. Even on the EduTap's YouTube channel, we are having the schemes, CT 360 schemes and current affairs, right? So all these series with regards to current affairs, they are being ran on our channel, which is the EduTap's regulatory body YouTube channel. So you can refer to that as well. Now students, coming to the next part, you might be thinking that for how many months I shall be covering or reading these current affairs. So students, the ideal time is 3 to 5 months prior to the examination, right? So for example, if in 2025 we expect the notification to be in the month of September, then the preceding 3 months, June, July, August, they are the most important. Apart from that, April and May, right? So these are the two other months which you have to cover too as far as your current affairs are concerned. So 3 to 5 months of current affairs is something that you have to cover as far as the NABARD grade A exam is concerned. Now students, we have discussed our entire non-merit section and the general awareness part of the merit section. The next component that we are going to discuss is the ESI, economics and social issues. Now students, ESI is one such component which is common in both the phase 1 and the phase 2 exams. So here we are going to see this particular topic and how you can cover it from both the phase 1 and phase 2 perspective. Let us see. See students, again as far as the ESI is concerned, so yes, the syllabus of ESI, it is mentioned in our notification, but again as far as the books are concerned, so no books have been mentioned in our syllabus or in the notification. Now coming to the ESI, so you are going to see ESI in three parts or in three phases as far as the NABARD grade exam is concerned. So in the phase 1 you are going to see objective ESI, and it is going to be 40 marks. Now students, if I talk about the distribution of static and the current affair marks in your ESI, then around 5 marks worth of static will be there in the objective ESI, right? The ESI part, the weightage of static part, it is very less. Out of the 40 marks, around 5 marks, 4 marks of static is observed. Otherwise rest 35 to 36 marks worth of current affairs is asked, right? Similarly, in the phase 2, so in the phase 2 you have ESI in both the objective aspect and in the descriptive aspect as well. So as far as the objective is concerned, so there 25 marks worth of ESI is asked, and out of these 25 marks, around 4 to 5 marks worth of static is asked. Rest it is from the current affairs only. Coming to the descriptive part, 25 marks worth of descriptive part is asked, and again most of this descriptive part is from the current affairs only. The static part is something that you have to use while writing the answers for the current affairs, right? So if I talk about the overall ESI, then majorly it is composed of the current affairs only, and very few worth weightage of static part is asked as far as the ESI is concerned in both the phase 1 and phase 2. Now let us see what are the books that you can refer to as far as your ESI objective part is concerned. See students, before you start reading the ESI objective part from any of the high profile books, I would request you that you kindly go through the introductory macroeconomics book, which is the class 12th NCRT for the economics. This book has all the important topics like national income is here, budget is here, right? Your foreign trade policies are there, right? Export imports are here, balance of payment is there, right? Money is there, banking is there. So all these important chapters, they are covered in this particular book, and if you cover this book, all the basics of economics, they will be covered as far as your ESI objective part is concerned. Apart from that, there is Indian economic development. This is again an NCRT, and it is for class 11th. You can refer to get the idea of the history behind India's economic development. Very important for you to have a good base as far as the ESI part is concerned. So once this base is prepared, you can refer to the Indian economy by Ramesh Singh, and the latest edition is the 15th edition, which is the 2023-2024 edition. You can refer to this particular book. It is a favorite book as far as the UPSC aspirants are concerned, but as far as our syllabus is concerned, the same book can be utilized for us also. Apart from that, for the social issues part, you can refer to the book Social Problems in India by Ram Ahuja, and you can refer to the 4th edition of this particular book. Now let us map the entire syllabus. So here is the syllabus which has been provided to us in our notification, and now let us map the entire syllabus with the chapters that you have to read from these books. Now students, as far as the measurement of growth is concerned, you have to refer to chapter number 1 and 2 of the Indian economy. Then for poverty alleviation and employment generation programs, you have to refer to one special book, that is Indian economy by VK Puri and SK Mishra, right? And Bhagat Garg, that is the 41st edition, right? And you have to refer to chapter number 11, 12 and 15 of this particular book. Apart from that, you can refer for sustainable development and environmental issues, you can refer to chapter 19. For Indian economic history, you can refer to chapter 4, 5 and 6. For fiscal policy reforms, you can refer to chapter number 17 and 18. For monetary policy reforms, you can refer to chapter 12. For opening up of the Indian economy and balance of payment, you can refer to chapter number 15. For the international economic institutions, you can refer to chapter number 16, right? Now, after that, for the regional economic cooperation, you can refer to the websites of organizations like ASEAN, SAARC, SCO, right? Then for the industrial and labor policy, you can refer to chapter 9. For Indian agriculture, chapter 8. For services sector in India, chapter 10. For export import policy, you can refer to this website investindia.gov.in. For Indian political system, here you have to refer very few topics, and these topics can be covered in the best possible manner from the book Lakshmikant. Then for the international economic issues, you can refer like you can read about the Asian financial crisis, global financial crisis, US China trade war, and other such current affairs from the internet. Then there are recommendations from the economic survey and budget, again very important. So here you have to read the highlights of economic survey and budget from the PIB. Then for the Indian money and financial markets, you can refer to chapter number uh, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 36 of this particular book. Then as far as the social infrastructure is concerned, you have to refer the book Social Issues by Ram Ahuja, right? For multiculturalism, again social issues by Ram Ahuja. For demographic trends, again social issues by Ram Ahuja. So all these social issues related topics, they are covered in the book Social Issues by Ram Ahuja. For the topic social movements, you can refer to the Sociology NCRT of class 12th. So these are the books as far as the ESI objective part is concerned. Now, as far as the pros and cons of these books are concerned, so these books, they will help you in building the strong concepts, because again they are referred to by the civil services aspirants. So these books have very in-depth in-depth explanation of the topic, so you will be able to build your concepts in the strong enough manner. But there is a con, that the rate of return on these books, it is very low, and the specific exam type questions that are being asked in the NABARD grade A exam, that are those questions are not covered in this particular book, right? Now students, moving ahead, so since we have discussed about what you have to read from the static part, but we have to remember here that static constitutes of only 10% of our ESI syllabus. The 90%, or the elephant in the room, it is the current affairs. Now here you must be having this question in mind, that when static constitutes of only 10% of the part, then why at all are we reading the static part? So students, we are reading the static part for two reasons. One, in order for you to understand the current affairs, it is very important that you have the basic knowledge of the static economics and the social issues, so that you are able to comprehend the current affairs. And secondly, to make sure that you have enough fodder material to write in the descriptive paper, because if you are writing the answers, then you cannot write the answers solely on the basis of the current affairs. You need to justify the arguments, you need to make your answer wholesome by using the static concepts also, and that is something you will learn by covering the static syllabus only, right? Now, since you have covered the ESI static syllabus, now let us discuss about the ESI current affairs. How can you cover the ESI current affairs? Now, first of all, we have to see what are the kind of current affairs and what are the areas from which you have to cover the ESI current affairs. So the first such area is the government schemes. The second area is the reports. The third area is the ESI specific current affairs. For example, if some inflation related data has been released, some like for sustainable development, if some conference or some COP, conference of parties, has happened, so that becomes important. Similarly, you also have to refer to the economic survey and the union budget, and some very important reports by the famous international organizations like World Bank and IMF. These are the things that you have to cover. Now, from where you can cover? You can cover them majorly from the PIB or any good newspaper such as the Hindu newspaper. Again, the highlights of the economic survey and union budget, they are available on the PIB. And for the world development report, for the world economic report, you can either refer to the summaries of these reports which are provided by different coaching institutes, or you can refer to the full text from the World Bank website or the IMF website. I think students, here in this case, it is better if you refer to the summaries, because the original documents, they are very huge and humongous, and it is not going to have a lot of or a very good return on investment, right? Now, let us discuss about the ESI descriptive part. How you are going to cover the descriptive part. Again, students, the descriptive can again be of two types, the descriptive static part and the descriptive current affairs part. The descriptive static part can be covered from the same book, Indian Economy by Ramesh Singh. It will provide you enough fodder material as far as the descriptive part is concerned, and as far as the descriptive current affairs is concerned, you can refer to the editorials which are given in the Hindu newspaper, or you can refer to the reports that are being asked in the ESI current affairs part, right? And students, for you to have the perspective, or for you to have a good answer writing practice, if you want to follow the YouTube channel, then on EduTap's YouTube channel we are running a series, Perspective 360 Degrees, and here Jaskaran sir will help break down the important and the complex editorials in such a manner so that you can use them in your answer writing practice, right? So that is what you can do as far as your descriptive current affairs related part is concerned. But student, from these two books, from the ESI descriptive objective from the ESI descriptive static book, that is the Ramesh Singh book that you are using, and for the descriptive current affairs, when you are referring the 360 degree perspective 360 degree, you are only going to have a lot of fodder material. What else you need to do? So students, after that, what you have to do is to do a lot of practice questions and mock test. Practice questions for the descriptive and mock writing for the objective part. This is what you have to do to ensure that whatever you have read in these books, that particular knowledge is utilized in the best possible manner. Right now, students, that was about the ESI. Apart from the ESI, there is one more component which is common in both the phase 1 and phase 2 exam, and this particular component is the ARD, Agriculture and Rural Development. Let us discuss about this particular component here. Now students, as far as the ARD is concerned, so here again you are going to witness ARD in both the phase 1 and phase 2. In the phase 1, the ARD, it will come in the objective form and it will be worth 40 marks. Out of these 40 marks, the weightage of the static part will be 30 to 35 marks. So yes students, the case is reverse in here in ARD. Here the static portion will be of around 30 to 35 marks and the current affairs will be of around 5 to 10 marks only, right? But in the objective, objective of phase 2, which is going to be of 25 marks, the static part will be of 12 to 13 marks and the current affairs will be of 12 to 13 marks. So here the weightage is both 50-50% of both static and the current affairs part. Then as far as the descriptive part is concerned, so descriptive questions worth 25 marks from the ARD part will be asked, and most of these questions, they are from the static topics only. So if I have to sum up in the this is like written in the inverse manner. So in the ARD, 90% of our syllabus or the 90% of the weightage is given to the static part, and around 10% of weightage it is given to the current affairs part, right? Now let us see the books that you can refer to as far as your objective part is concerned. So the first book that you have to refer to, it is the Fundamentals of Agriculture volume 1 and volume 2 by Arun Katyan, right? And this is the 11th edition. Apart from that, you can refer to a book, a competitive book of agriculture by the Nemraj Sunda, and it is it is one of the very good books. Then you can refer to Elements of Agriculture Engineering by Dr. Jagdishwar Sahai, Handbook of Fisheries and Aquaculture, which is released by ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, and then Textbook of Animal Husbandry by GC Banerjee, right? So these are the books that you have to refer to. Now students, here there is one common doubt, that whether to refer to the Fundamentals of Agriculture or Nemraj Sunda. So students, the difference here is that if you are somebody who is not from agriculture background and who want to study the entire agriculture concepts from like the basic, then you can refer to the Fundamentals of Agriculture, because this particular book, it explains the concepts in a detailed manner, whereas a competitive book of agriculture, it is mostly like a MCQ based or a one-liner question based of book, which will help those students more who are from agriculture and rural development background and who already have some knowledge of the agriculture concepts, right? So that is the difference between these particular books, the one by Arun Katyan and the another one by Neemraj Sunda. Now students, apart from these books, there are two very important sources which you have to refer to as far as your ARD objective is concerned, and they are the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University's AgriTech portal, very important, and ICAR e-courses AgriGyan portal, right? So ICAR course, these are the links that I have provided to you, and you have to refer to these particular sources in order to complete your entire agriculture part or the most important topics from these topics, right? Now students, let us see as far as the syllabus is concerned. So yes, the syllabus for the ARD objective, it is provided to us in our syllabus, in our notification. So the syllabus is there. Now let us map this entire syllabus to the sources and to the chapters that you have to cover. Now as far as the introduction to agriculture chapter is concerned, you have to cover chapter number 1 from the part 1 of Arun Katyan. So for the Arun Katyan book, we have two parts, part 1 and part 2. For introduction to agriculture, you have to refer to chapter 1, part 1. Agronomy and field crops, you have to refer to chapter 7, 8 and 10 from part 1 and chapter 6 and 10 from part 2. For the farming systems, you have to refer to the ICR website and the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University website. For the cropping patterns and systems, you have to refer to chapter 2 and 5 from part 1 of Arun Katyan. Agrometeorology, chapter 4, part 1 Arun Katyan. Seeds and sowing, chapter 9, part 1 Arun Katyan. Soil and water conservation, chapter 6, chapter 15, chapter 16, 18, 19, 10, 21 from part 1 of the book Arun Katyan, right? And this is not 10, this is chapter 20. Then water resources and irrigation management. So for this, you have to refer to chapter number 13 of the book Arun Katyan. For the farm and agriculture engineering students, you have to refer to this book Elements of Agriculture Engineering by Jagdishwar Sahai, and in this book you have to refer to the chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, chapter 8, chapter 13, 14, 15, chapter 17, 18, 20 and 21. These are the chapters that you have to refer to as far as farm and agri engineering is concerned. Then for plantation and horticulture crops, you have to refer to chapter 9, 14, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42 from part 2 of the book Arun Katyan, right? So chapter 9 and 14, and after that from chapter 36 to chapter 42. For animal husbandry and poultry, you have to refer to this book, Textbook of Animal Husbandry by G.C. Banerjee, and from this book you have to refer to chapter 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and chapter number 15, right? Now as far as the fisheries are concerned, you have to look, you have to refer to the handbook of fisheries on the ICAR, right? For forestry, you can refer to chapter 12 part 1 Arun Katyan. For important agronomic practices and beneficial insects, you can refer to the ICAR website and the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University website. For the agriculture extension, you have to refer to chapter number 24 part 1 Arun Katyan. For agriculture economics, chapter 25 and 26 of part 1 Arun Katyan. For ecology and climate change, chapter 1, 2 and 3 of part 2 Arun Katyan. For the rural development, you have to refer to the ICAR e-course, Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, and most importantly Google, because these are the topics which are not found in any one particular book, and so it is beneficial that you Google these topics so that you can get the entire crux, or you can get the best possible information as far as the rural development is concerned. Now students, before I proceed further, let me just quickly take you through the ICAR e-course and the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University portal, so you can get an idea how can you use that. So students, suppose you have to search the topic fisheries on the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University portal. So you simply have to type fisheries, TNAU AgriTech portal, and such a portal will open here. Now students, as you can see here, this entire information, it has been provided to you over here, right? So first of all, like if you click on like the what are capture fisheries, what are culture fisheries, what are the fishing technologies, what is the processing technology, and what are the other related areas, right? So for example, if we click on the marine resources, right? So here also you are going to get the different kind of fisheries on the basis of pelagic zone, demersal zone, deep sea zone, right? And again in the if you click on that, you are going to get this entire note on the coastal fishes, the oceanic fishes, the land, right, epipelagic fishes, floating objects. So all these, like in this manner, you can use your agritech portal for of the Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, right, students? Now, moving ahead, let us see that what are the pros of these books. So as far as these books are concerned, obviously they are going to give you a very strong building as far as the concepts are concerned, especially this book Fundamentals of Agriculture by Arun Katyan, right, and this book Animal Husbandry by GC Banerjee. Now, as far as the cons or the drawbacks of these particular books are concerned, the return on investment of these particular books, it is fairly low, and it is a time taking process to complete all these books, right? So these are certain drawbacks as far as these books are concerned. Now, students, since we have seen what are the books that you can refer to for the objective part, we also have to see that what kind of current affairs you need to cover as far as your objective is concerned. So students, first of all the ARD related schemes are something that you have to cover. So you can refer to the PIB for all the government schemes. For the reports, you can refer to the Hindu newspaper. For the agriculture related current affairs, again you can refer to the Hindu newspaper. For NABARD annual report, which is again a very important report, you can refer to the NABARD website. For the Ministry of Agriculture's annual report, you can refer to the ministry website. Apart from that, Ministry of Animal Husbandry, Ministry of Fisheries, Ministry of Rural Development, their annual reports also become important, and for all those you have to refer to the ministry websites only. For other reports such as the horticulture estimates are there, or NAFIS report is there, India State of Forest report is there. So for all those reports you can refer to either PIB or the NABARD website, right? So these are the sources that you have to follow as far as your current affairs of ARD is concerned. Now students, coming to the ARD descriptive part. Now students, the kind of questions that are being asked in the ARD as far as the descriptive part is concerned, so most of these questions, they are very basic in nature and they are from the static topics only. So for that you have to refer to these books only. And as far as your ARD descriptive current affairs part is concerned, so for that you can refer to the editorials in the Hindu newspaper, right? So these are some of the sources that you can refer to in order to prepare the descriptive part of your ARD, right? Now students, what you have to read outside these books, if you are referring to these books and if you are doing the self study, then apart from these books you have to do a lot of practice questions, you have to give a lot of mock tests to see and to improve on your preparation, right? So that is what you have to do outside these books. Now students, coming to the phase 2 examination. So in the phase 2 we have discussed the ESI and ARD part, the books that you have to refer to for these two areas. Now let us discuss what are the sources that you can refer to for the general English, or that is the descriptive English part of the phase 2. Now students, if you have to prepare for the phase 2 descriptive English, there are two things that you are supposed to go through, and those two things are the content and the skill. First of all, you need to have the skill, how to write a good essay, how to write a good précis. So for all that, first of all, the first step that you have to do is to use the videos. There are a lot of YouTube videos available. For example, on our own channel itself, there is a descriptive English playlist in which Narveer Singh sir, he is explaining all the technicalities related to the essay and précis writing. So you can utilize those videos. Then next step, you have to practice what you have learned. Simply learning is not enough. You have to do a lot of practice also, and then you can simply use the Grammarly website. So whatever you have written, use the Grammarly website, paste it over there, and it will tell you what are the mistakes. So using the Grammarly website, you will be able to you will be able to uh, you will be able to review the questions or the answers that you have written, right? Apart from that, as far as the content building is concerned, so you can do the content building through the editorials of the Hindu newspaper. And apart from that, these days we have a very good resource with us, that is the Chat GPT. So students, using the Chat GPT, again you can gather a lot of fodder material. Whatever specific fodder material you can require, you can get it from the Chat GPT. So students, in this manner we have discussed all the um, books and sources that you can refer to for your NABARD grade A preparation for all the components of this particular exam. And if you want to watch the previous videos of our A to Z series, the playlist link is given in the description video of this particular video. Right now, students, going by this, we have discussed about the eligibility, we have discussed about the pattern, and along with that we have also discussed about the vacancies, and in today's video we have discussed about the books. And in this manner we have reached letter B in our A to Z series of the NABARD grade examination. Now students, apart from that, with this we come to an end of our today's session. And students, apart from that, if you need any help, if these books and if these sources they become overwhelming for you, and if you are a working aspirant and if you don't have the time to give to these sources, then EduTap has two courses for you. So you can refer to the NABARD grade A gold course or the NABARD grade A silver course to further enrich your preparation. So for that you can visit our website edutap.in, right? So if you go to our website, and on our website, if you search the courses, then for the NABARD grade A examination, we have 11-hour trial course wherein you will get an idea on the kind of deliverables that we provide in our other courses. Apart from that, we have a phase 1 plus phase 2 test series. Then we have a silver course for the phase 2 plus interview preparation, and gold course for the phase 1, phase 2 and the interview preparation. So students, if you want any help from us, so you can refer to these courses. Apart from that, if you want any sort of mentorship, then we have the Calendly calls and the strategy calls that you can book free of cost with our faculties. So on this note, I'm ending this session here. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the very best.